So the first person that I interviewed for this project was Deputy Brendan Carroll for Roanoke Police Department. He is a city police officer for Roanoke City. I asked what the credentials were to be employed there, and he told me you must pass the physical test, rookie school, and they prefer a degree, but it's not required in order to work there. And he said you must pass the issued standardized test that is given. I asked, what is the career ladder? And he told me that you start at patrol, and after that they allow you to work in many different fields until you find the one that you really want to be a part of. He said that you can move up to the next rank, which is sergeant, or you can move to be a detective or a resource officer in school. I asked him what he wanted to do after being a patrol, and he said he thought about resource officer because he wants to make a difference in children's lives, but he still has a while to do that. And then I asked him what he did to become a cop or why he chose to be one, and he said he wanted to follow in his father's footsteps and make a difference in the world. The next place that I went to interview with is Legacy Village in Jacksonville, Alabama, and I talked to Sasha Pugh. They are an assisted living that deals with the elderly and has dementia patients as well. So they have the assisted living on one area and then the dementia side on the other side. So I asked what are the credentials to work there, and she's told me that usually they want a CNA license, but it's not always required, but you must have your CPR certification. I asked her what the career ladder is like, and she told me that for her example, she started as a caregiver, but she was able to move up now to the office manager. She went from a caregiver to a med tech, where you are allowed to give medications to the patients that are able to take them on their own. You have to pass a test for that. Then she moved on to the manager of the entire shift, and now she is the office manager. I asked her why she decided to work there, and she said she really wanted to make a difference in their lives, whether it be for a short time of them being there in the facility until they get what they need and they can move on and live with their families, or for the long term. I've worked there before. I did really enjoy working there. It was a very nice facility. They care about their residents. They make sure that everything is up to date and all the equipment is completely standard, that everything is required. The next place that I interviewed with was the Behavioral Health Center in Villarica, Georgia. I talked to the office manager. I didn't get her name because I was very nervous. It was my very first interview that I did, so I missed out on getting her name. But she told me that they are a private practice, so they are funded by by insurance companies and all their fees and stuff. She said that they deal with adolescents and children ages 6 to 17 years old. I asked what are the credentials to work there, and she said there's none required. She does not have a degree. She just simply has applied and she got in. She said that it is her, just because of the pandemic, it is her and the psychiatrist. So the office is a very small office. She said that they really just want to make a difference in children's lives, and that's why she decided to work for them, because she really does approve of what the psychiatrist does, and she really loves working under them. The last place that I interviewed with was Layfair Personal Care in Dallas, Georgia. I talked to Natasha Henson, the executive director. I said, what is the population? I asked her what is the population that they serve. And she said people 18 years of older with primary diagnosis in mental and physical health issues such as Down syndrome, traumatic brain injuries. They deal with autism, cerebral palsy, and other things such as that. I asked her what all the credentials are, and she said that they have multiple departments that have different credentials, but for caregiving, for that, she said that the credentials you must have a CNA and have training and authorization from DBHDD. I asked why she decided to start working there, and she said that she personally loves caring for those people and wants to see a change in helping them with their own lives, even if they cannot. I would not work at this one just because I would get too attached and it would break my heart. It's very hard for me to work with people that are disabled because I just want to help them so much, and I know I can only do so much for them, and they try to give as much, but they also try to, it's kind of like rehab where they try to work with them to where they can be more independent if they are able to. So I approve of what they do. I just personally could not work there just because it would be too difficult for me. So yeah.